Hello friend. Today we will consider a very strong and interesting play for white, and this is how we play with white. The first move we make with a pawn on e4. Thus the black pawn goes to b6. We advance our queen's pawn to d4 and capture the center. Everything is very simple. The black bishop attacks our pawn. We defend it with our bishop. Then black makes an interesting and cunning move. Substitutes his pawn for us. If we take it, then the black bishop takes the weak pawn on g2 and eventually takes our rook. What do we do in this situation? We do exactly what black wants. We take this black pawn, blunder the pawn on g2. The black bishop takes this pawn with great pleasure. Our boat has already been caught here. It will not go anywhere. But on the next move we check with the queen. In general, always in the opening when you start to check the enemy king, you control the situation on the board. And so we made a check. The only move was to hide behind a pawn from black. We take it. The next move, the black bishop stands on g7. This is to close the cell because our pawn will move forward. Check will take the rook and take the second queen. So the bishop came here. We take the black pawn with our pawn. The rook cannot take our pawn yet. And plus we went here and made another check to the king. So the king retreats to f8. We bring our knight out in the hope of how to save our rook as well. But the bishop has not yet been taken away by the rook. And attacks our queen. And brings the second power to our pawn. We place the queen on g6. Attacking the bishop and continuing to defend the pawn. The bishop still takes our rook. And with the next move we bring our bishop down and make 2 hits on g7. Take the bishop with the queen. And we'll make a check and trouble for black. But the black rook takes our pawn and at the same time brings the second strength to the defense of the bishop on g7. We put the knight on g5 on the next move. Attacking the rook. The rook in this case cannot leave again because it protects g7. So the black elephant takes our elephant in this way. We take the black rook and check the black king. But the black knight easily takes our knight and we take the black bishop with the queen and do check. The black king moves to f7 because if he moves here, you can get a checkmate from the bishop. So he moves here. We take the knight. Of course. Do check. The black king moves here. We do check again. We completely control the game. The black king departs here. We make a knight in check. The only move from the king is to take our pawn. And the next move, we put the queen here. Do check and checkmate. This is how very beautifully and reliably we won this game. That is, in principle, after the queen, after the check, we completely controlled the game. If you like this combination, this game, please subscribe to the channel. And remember, every chess master was once a beginner.